Okay. Okay, everybody, we're going to do the Havana chicken. Like I said, I've never done this dish before, but it sounded like it'd be pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to get started on this. Okay, here we go. Y'all are ready. We'll go here now. All right. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I have a baking dish here, and I'm going to put what I put into marinade. I'm going to give you the ingredients now. You're going to take 1/2 cup of vinegar, 1/2 cup of olive oil, and I used extra virgin olive oil, 1/2 cup of white wine, a teaspoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of hot sauce, 1/2 cup of raisins. I use the golden raisins, but you can use the others. 1 small chopped onion, 3 bay leaves, and let me see, and 1/2 cup of green olives chopped up. So again, I've got my oven on 350. I've got a baking dish. This is the ingredients for the Havana chicken: 1/2 cup of vinegar, 1/2 cup of olive oil, 1/2 cup of white wine, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of hot sauce, 1/2 cup of raisins, 1 small diced onion, 3 bay leaves, and 1/2 cup of chopped green olives. You're going to mix all that together and put, I took 3 chicken breasts and I cut them long ways like this. I didn't make them thin, I cut them long ways. So they look like they're in big hunks, and I'll show you here. You put them in a baggie and you pour that over them. And you they need at least 8 hours to marinate. Then you're just going to take the marinade and the chicken, and you're going to dump it in this dish. And let me arrange that a little bit. See if I can get this arranged. So I'm going to have to touch this. Get it all. You can see the chicken breast are long ways here. And I want to get the stuff out in between. There you go. And you just kind of line them up. And this is going to bake for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'm sorry, I told you 350, it's 375. And it does say to cover it with oil wrap. That's the only thing I didn't get ready. So we're going to cover this with oil wrap. And when I get done showing you some other things, I'll walk you through the rest of this. The oven just beeped, so it was ready. So I thought, I didn't have this on the menu, but I thought, we'll just do this for a little dessert, for something different. So this is just apple streusel. And I have sliced apples that I took a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice, and I rolled them in the lemon juice. And I added mixed cinnamon and dark brown sugar together. You can guess it however much you want because the topping's sweet too, so you can just do that however you like. And I took 2 slices of butter and I just cut them in little chunks on here. And the topping is this streusel that I'm putting on here, and I'll tell you what's in it. And because I'm going to put it in and let it bake the same time that this is baking. Get sugar off my hands. Okay. I have, right, I wrote down what I put in it for y'all so I could tell you. I put some walnuts. I put 3 tablespoons of cold butter. I used however much brown sugar you like. I think I used about 1/4 of a cup. I put 3 tablespoons of flour and 1/4 of a cup of cooked oats and the nuts. I just worked all that together with the 3 tablespoons of butter. And then until it's just, little clumps, until it looks like a crumble. And then you're going to put it on top of there. And then we're just going to stick this in here too. And it can bake while it'll get done before the chicken, but I thought it'd be something quick and nice to have on the side. Next, what I've done, I've got my prep ready. You're going to need a whole large orange squeezed and seeded, the juice from it. And you're going to need 1 good size lime, the juice in here and squeeze. This is going to be toward the end of when we get done. When the chicken gets ready, it's going to go over the top. And on each little piece of the chicken, you take brown sugar and you just put a few crumbles on the top. I watched a lady do that, but they do it in every one of the dishes. So anyway, and I told you along with that, you can cook rice, but I'm going to show you how to do these Cuban, they're called Cuban black beans. So that's what I'm going to show you why some of this stuff is cooking. And I'm going to go over with some other things we're going to be doing while this stuff is cooking. But what you can do in your prep, I put a tablespoon of butter in here and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you're going to chop some, I use some red bell pepper. I use 2 teaspoons of grated garlic and 1/2 of a medium onion, and I chopped it up. As soon as this gets hot, we're going to saute this in there. And then I'm going to get a pan out to cook the beans in. And I took and drained and washed 2 cans of black beans. And you're going to need some cilantro to go in at the end on the top of the beans, and a little bit on the top of the chicken breast. And then you take a pinch of red pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. And I have 1/4 of a cup of red wine. And I've only got 1 measure, but we're going to use, that's the 4th, we're going to use 1/2 cup of water. So when we get done sauteing these, I'm going to get a pan out and we're going to do the other. But when you do this, you want, and 1 bay leaf. I meant to tell you, we're going to need a bay leaf too. So just make sure when you put this in, try to keep, if you can, the garlic toward the top, because you don't want your garlic to burn at all. The rest of that out there, if you can keep from it. Guys, I use my hands a lot when I cook, so that's what I do. I'm a home cook. So anyway, with that sauteing, we get another pan that we're going to cook these in, because they have to cook about 15, 20 minutes on them when you get everything done. And like I said again, those ingredients says 1 bay leaf. I got 2 cans of black beans, drain and rinse, or you can cook your own. I just thought for the price and everything, it's about the same. And I took, actually used 3 of those. They're the mini peppers. I used 3 of the red ones, and 1/2 of, like I said, a medium onion, and chopped that up, and 2 teaspoons of garlic. Then we have 1/4 cup of the red wine. I have cilantro that's chopped up. It's going to be 1/2 cup of water and a pinch of cayenne pepper, and then a half a teaspoon of cumin. This is for the beans now. The orange juice, the one orange juice squeeze, the one lime squeeze, and the brown sugar will be for the Havana chicken when it's done. So I'm waiting for this to soften up. Okay. Next Tuesday, I'm going to do the tuna patties. I told you I make them like you do salmon, only because people are worried about cost and stuff. Tuna is just as good and it's cheaper. And I use the tuna with water. You can use the tuna with oil. It really doesn't matter. You can drain that off anyway. But I'm going to do that macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese. And I'm going to make some cream peas. Now, depending on, I thought next, maybe thinking next Saturday, I would do a pork loin, and I would make garlic cheese spinach, garlic cheese spinach dish that a friend of mine gave me. And I'm going to make it, there's a lot of steps to it, so I will do that on here because there's quite a few steps to why the pork loin is baking. And I'm going to just make, and with the tuna patties, I'm going to make a fruit salad, fresh fruit, or not fresh, but a fruit salad. Show you how to make one. It's not really expensive. Maybe on, I'm thinking maybe Saturday that I'll make some kind of it's a jello you make with cream cheese, and it sets up really quick. And it's real simple. It's just mainly your flavored gelatin and cream cheese. And then there's not really a lot to it, but it's something that's pretty good. And I think it would go along pretty good with the pork loin and the spinach dish. So anyway, I'm just giving you a little bit of idea about that. I did find me a recipe, and I'm going to try it. Probably going to make some of those in the morning. I found a new recipe not a recipe, but I watched a lady make some buttermilk biscuits from scratch. And I want to make those. I think those would be pretty good from the way I've seen her. And they're the ones that get pretty big. They're like the bigger buttermilk, the ones that get real high. And the ones I made, they didn't do that. So anyway, I thought that that's what I would do on that. I do want to get in sometime, probably next week, make ham salad. I was going to make a macaroni salad. And I don't know, I'm trying to think of some other salad that people have been wanting, some summer salads, and of course, macaroni salad's one. I've already made potato salad. And I already showed you one kind of a coleslaw that doesn't have the mayonnaise in it to where you could keep it out. I can do another coleslaw if you want, or just let me know something you'd like for me to show you. And I am going to do, when I do when I do those dishes, I'm going to do a fried rice that a girl's been asking me to do. And I haven't. I did it when I recorded it, and it cut in and out, and it didn't do right. So now that I know I can go live, I will do that fried rice for her. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember for sure who that was. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do for that. So anyway, these you want to let them just get soft. I said to let them just get soft in olive oil, a little bit of butter. And it's got that garlic. You don't want it to burn. And then just kind of set off the stove. And it said to put your drained black beans in the pan, which that's what this says here. And then add this mixture to it. And you can see, guys, you don't have to do too much. There's just not a lot of work to it. But in the chicken dish as well as this, make sure you take these bay leaves out when it's done. Just throw that in there. You want to make sure you take them out. You don't want anybody to eat them. Get them in there. And you do take the pinch of the cayenne pepper and the cumin. Put it in. I'm going to put this in here. This bowl, I can tell you, is not a good bowl for spices I'm finding out. Should have one of my other little ones, but I can get it out of here. Okay. You don't want a whole lot anyway. You don't want it to overpower your dish. And here is a fourth of a cup of red wine. And you're going to need a half a cup of water, just to have water. And that was 2/4 cups here. And then it says just to stir this mixture together and just to let it simmer. Or not simmer, but turn it down to about medium heat. Needs to cook about, probably, I'm going to say about 15 minutes, just on low, like that. And to where it takes in all those flavors, basically what it's doing. Like I said, we're going to put a little cilantro in there, and a tiny bit in the chicken, so that's what's here. Okay, so let's get back to this other. It's still pretty warm right here where I live, so I'm not going to get into doing a lot of oven dishes. I have tequila lime chicken I want to make, and it does have a little bit of tequila in it. You don't taste the tequila though when it's cooked. It has cilantro, lime juice, garlic, and it's just, you can use the breast or the thighs, and it's just, it just marinades in that in a bag in the refrigerator, and then it's fried in a little bit of vegetable oil, just a tiny bit, and kind of like between grilled and frying. And I really just buy the chicken breasts and cut them long ways where they're thinner, and that's what I use. But I'm going to do that and some side dishes. Y'all can let me know if there's anything you want me to try to make for you on here in the way of sides. Or if there's, I want to make chicken and dumplings. I have some other chicken recipes that I'm going to do. But, and I have some more crock pot recipes too. I don't know if y'all want me to make chili, I can, but I thought we might wait maybe another, this is just, you know, it's just not cold enough. I thought maybe the end of September, 1st of October. That would be good. And then starting in November early, I'm going to get into doing some of the holiday dishes. Cranberry relish that you can make, and it will keep up to all through Christmas, that you can make it, keep it. I just have some different dishes. I'm going to do some baking the banana nut bread, the date nut bread, pumpkin bread, do some things like that. And some different pecan pies. I don't know if I might do pumpkin if somebody really wants that. I have my grandmother's pecan pie though. And I'm actually going to make homemade pie crust. Show you all my grandmother's recipe for that. It's not complicated. It just takes a little time, and you know, you have to have a little work area and just give yourself a chance to want to learn it, you know, comprehend it and want to learn it. It's just not, like I said, difficult at all. And of course, I always around Thanksgiving, we usually do sometimes we do a whole turkey, sometimes we don't. We'll do a turkey breast, but I also do a ham, or I'll do a turkey and a little bit of ham, and then do whatever I don't do the opposite for Christmas. And we do the different kinds of sweet potato dishes. Like I said, the different kinds of desserts, different kinds of relishes, the different kinds of breads. I do have chocolate covered cherries I can do on here. I have some candy recipes. I have some fudge recipes. I don't do divinity. Just not even going to attempt it. It's hard enough to do without this crazy weather that we have here in Texas. And it's either too humid, or I've never heard anybody have any luck with it. But there's peanut butter fudge, there's milk chocolate fudge, there's regular fudge. I mean, there's different things that, all kinds of things like that you can make. Plus, I have a couple of candies that you make actually using the chow mein noodles and butterscotch and chocolate chips. And like I said, the chocolate covered cherries. And I don't know, I'm going to kind of look around through my grandma's recipes and see. She even made a date nut pudding around Christmas. We just had a lot of different desserts. We really did. So let me look at my cheaters on here and I can see who's in the chat and say hi to everybody. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Manifold. How are y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me see. Yeah, I'm sounded my homemade. Oh, yes. And also there's the jalapenos. By the way, one of my very good friends told me this. It's a jalapeno raspberry jelly. Oh my gosh. You get that, and that jelly, you get a square, just a block of the cream cheese, and put it on a plate and put some of that jalapeno raspberry jelly on top of it, and serve it with some different kinds of crackers around it. It is so good. And I also have her sausage balls. I'm going to make sausage cheese balls that she makes, and she has them around the holidays. I'm not sure what else I'm going to get into. Those are just some of the things that, and you can have those anytime. And those sausage balls are good. They're good hotter cold also. But I will even make cheese enchiladas from scratch. If anybody's interested, that it's going to have to be probably almost, I'll have to show you the steps. I could make the enchilada sauce from scratch and then walk you through that, unless you want to see me make that from scratch. And then because it's long, mixing the cheese up that goes in the enchiladas. And then you've got to take the corn tortillas and you have to fry them in a little bit of oil to get them soft, or they're going to fall apart on you. You have to drain them. And it's a lot of time blotting them dry, setting them aside. And then you've got to line up everything, your cheeses, and roll them. And then you have to bake them. So if you want me to do that, it would probably be about an hour and a half video. If y'all are interested, I will do that. I can measure everything ahead of time. And I can go ahead and just mix, I can do the sauce on live and just mix the cheese up and show you what I put in it. And then show you how to fry the corn tortillas. And then show you how to wrap, or how to roll them and wrap them up and put them in the dish, okay? And do that. That's just another idea I thought I had. But I do have a homemade chicken dumpling recipe too. So it's not too much work, really. It's not. I'm used to doing it, and I have a grandson that loves it, and it's really fun. It's not that hard at all. It's not any more difficult than standing here. Oh, and I will do the fried chicken and the homemade waffles that I didn't get to do when I got sick a week ago. So I will do that. My daughter made that, and oh my gosh, some of the best waffles. I got this little bitty mini waffle iron, and it makes about this size, a little bit bigger than the ones that you get in the Eggos. They were some of the best waffles I've had. And you know, in those waffles, you can take and put chocolate chips. You can put pecans in them. There's just a lot of different things that you can do with a waffle. And add, you know, with and that fried chicken, we did the tenders. I don't know what it is. It's just like it cuts through some of the sweet from the syrup that you use with the waffles. But it's really good. My grandkids ordered it all the time when we went out and ate. And it just didn't sound good to me. And I tried it and I thought, wow, that's really good. So I think I'd rather have the chicken as I would sausage or bacon with it, if you can believe that. And I am going to do a hot roll recipe. That's not a hard one. It's not really hard at all. I haven't done it for a long time, but I will do that and show y'all how to do the homemade hot rolls. So anyway, let me check these beans and see how they're doing. They're just just getting hot in here, and it smells great in here. It really does. I'm surprised how I guess it smells. Let me go ahead and show you the other thing I was going to do. So I've got my rice already cooked. You need to take and slice or cut up some lime wedges, which I did, and I cut some orange slices because they said to serve that on the side with this. I sliced a nice fine ripe tomato, and it says to use the shredded iceberg lettuce with it and to squeeze some of the lime or the orange juice over it. I guess it cuts through probably. I don't think this is going to be real hot. I haven't tried it. Let me do something. Let me get a spoon and taste that and see what these beans are tasting like, and I'll give you a good idea. Because I don't like real hot food, or I should say it doesn't like me, but I like spicy food, but not the hot. And I can already tell you, it's going to need salt. I'm always wary of putting salt in because you can always take salt out, but I mean, you can always add more salt, but you can't take it out. It's almost impossible. But it's pretty bland. That definitely needs some salt. And it did say in there salt and pepper. I thought maybe with the cayenne pepper and that with everything that would be salty enough, but it definitely needs salt and pepper in it. Because they're kind of, the beans, I think I got the unsalted black beans, so that's probably why. So, let me get a clean spoon, stir that up, and then I'll try them again. I don't want to use my stirring spoon I've got there, or my big spoon. I'll take it up with it. You can see, starting to steam some here, get hot, and everything, you just gotta let those flavors. And the wine, I can't even taste it in there right now. I think it's just, but it is a necessity. It did say that to use red wine. So usually a lot of people have a little bit of wine, or you can use, I guess, the red cooking wine or the white cooking wine. That's what it needed. But that little bit of red pepper gives it just a tiny bit of bite. So I can tell you that. Let me get a drink. Sorry, guys. Okay. Last time, still on antibiotics for that bronchitis, so it still kind of keeps me dried out. Anyway, like I said, I have the lettuce, the tomatoes. You just assemble this later with the wedges of the limes and the orange slices. And I cook the white rice. You can use probably any kind of rice you want, but I cooked white rice because it said that Cuban black beans and rice, so that seemed more fitting to me to do. And I just thought with this, the little apple cobbler, or not apple cobbler, but the apple streusel would be kind of nice to have. And with this heavy food, and I have whipped cream or ice cream, and it's not quite done. Now, on your streusel, the only thing I can tell you to do is stick a fork. You don't want it mushy. Just stick a fork in it, and this is not done. It needs probably another 20 minutes on that. But I thought, well, I've got the oven turned on. It's hot, so I might as well go ahead and get that, something like that fixed. And you do have to go back, it says, and watch your beans and stir them. Now, there is 3 bay leaves in with the chicken, so you need to make sure you remove those bay leaves before you serve them. But I'll go over the, let me go over the ingredients one more time. I like to do that because I've heard people tell me that they'd rather me go over the ingredients in the video than list them below. So there's a half a cup of vinegar, and I use, you call for white vinegar, and I use white vinegar. Call for half a cup of olive oil, and I use extra virgin olive oil because that's what I had. A half a cup of white wine. I've got just some cheap wine because we don't drink around here. We use it mainly for cooking. a teaspoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of hot sauce, half a cup of raisins, and I use the golden raisins. I didn't use the other ones. I had golden raisins, so that's what I used. A small chopped onion, 3 bay leaves, and a half a cup of the chopped green olives. So that's what is in it. And then you have, when I take it out, I'm going to stir, I'm going to pour over it this orange juice from an orange and lime juice from a lime. Well, not really when it's done. I'm going to pull it out here in about another, let me see, well, it's been 30 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out because it's at about halfway through to pull it out and sprinkle the, I don't know if you all can see in the oven or not, probably not. Let me get a pot over here, guys, and I'll show you. Take it out. It's cooking very well. And you're supposed to take it out about halfway through. And actually in that marinade, you'd be surprised. It's already kind of, I think, cooked. Started those chicken breast cooking because of the marinade. So it says to take this brown sugar and put it on the top of these chicken breasts because it will bake down in there the last bit of time here. And then let me get that on there. Got all this on here, like it said. I don't know why, but they said it's important, and I'm sure it probably has some kind of a taste to it. I'm sure with that orange juice and different things. Okay, let's do that like that, and then it said to take this orange juice and lime and just go around the corners like this, halfway through your baking. And then to put it back in the oven. Rinse my hand off because I got sugar on me. Okay. And then you can leave it as a cup. So I guess it gives that brown sugar a chance to set up. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Okay. So that's the way you do it. It's about 30 minutes through, about 35, just do it through. And I did take my marinated chicken out about 10, 15 minutes before the live started, and I heated my oven so it would be ready. And these beans are starting, you can tell the veggies are getting soft, even softer, and it's starting to thicken up. So it's starting to get that taste. And I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a bit of the cilantro like it said in here. After they cooked about 7 minutes, and then the rest of the cilantro is on top of the chicken. And then you just need to just kind of stir that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and take the bay leaf out because it's already got the taste from the bay leaf of what it's going to do. And it really smells good. It really do. And like I told you guys, I've never had this dish, so I don't know anything about how it's going to taste. The lady I watched some of her videos, and I have for years. She had 2 different versions of it. And actually, this is a dish from back in the 1950s. And she just showed her version of how they showed her to do it, and that's what she did. But they're not called Havana black beans, they're called Cuban black beans. So there's different recipes online for that. I just looked up one, and the one that I thought sounded similar to what's in here, that would go good with it. And of course I cooked my rice off. So it's a side dish. And, anyway, it did say that you could use boneless, skinless chicken thighs if you want. And some, I've seen a guy cooking, an older gentleman cooking on YouTube that did it, and he used the chicken thighs. He prefers the chicken thighs. He thinks that the chicken breast has a tendency to dry out. I've never really had any dried chicken. I've never had trouble with dried out chicken breast, and I think it's because people have a tendency to overcook chicken. The white meat anyway, I think they just overcook, especially when you've sliced it thinner. I know my mom sometimes cooked chicken, it was just, and even pork chops, and they were just really dry. But she didn't want anything that, she wouldn't even eat a steak unless it was medium well to well done. I mean, some people don't like things, you know. Of course, chicken you must cook well done. You must make sure your chicken's done, but you don't have to, you know, cook it till it's dried out. So there are other recipes you can look at. And I don't know anybody from West Cuban or from Havana, so I don't know. I mean, it just sounded good. She said it was really good. And I know before she even plated it up, she took a bite of it. She said it was really, really good. So I went more with the recipe she went with. But I do know it says that the red wine or your red cooking wine is a necessity for the black beans. It's just part of something that I guess the Cuban culture uses a lot of wines and stuff in their cooking, but said there really wasn't any way to substitute it. And with the Havana chicken, it does call for the wine also. I used everything that it called for. I didn't substitute anything. So that just, if there's things you're allergic to or you have other preferences, I'm sure that it could be changed up a little bit. But that's just the way I chose to do this time. So it sounded good and something different. You know, a lot of people think, well, you can just make ordinary dishes, you know, and I've done the made stroganoff and homemade sausage gravy. There's some basic things I have done. The Swiss steak, some other dishes that I made on there. So in the meatloaf, so I thought, well, I'm going to make a Salisbury steak recipe. I'll get my daughter's recipe on that because she usually makes a Salisbury steak, and it's really good also. But anyway, like I said, they're starting to thicken up. They're probably getting pretty close to being done. But this is what I have for y'all today. And like I said, if you, like on the chicken, and you just kind of watch your streusel. And like I said, don't wait till the apples are mushy, but just so you can get a fork through and it comes out. You still want them to be kind of firm. And then just watch you can see, I don't think you can see, but actually on top of the chicken breast the brown sugar is starting to get a kind of a brown glaze to it. But I know when I watched the lady take a bite of it in her life, she said it was like, just had a little bit of sweet tang in it. She said it was really good. She didn't have green olives. She used black olives, but the ingredient of the recipe calls for the green olives. And so anyway, I guess you could use the black one you want. That's what she used. But I used the green ones according to the recipe. So like I said, if you all know of anything or have any suggestions, things you want me to do, I'll be glad to do them for y'all. Let me see here. Yeah. So anyway, I also want to do a broccoli cheese soup. I have a homemade vegetable soup. My own recipe, I do homemade vegetable soup. I already did the stew. I'm going to do the chicken and dumplings. I do a ham cheese corn chowder. I fixed that yesterday. We had that yesterday. So And it has some cooked bacon in it, a little piece of ham, and it's got chicken broth and onion and the sweet peppers in it. It's really good. I used not a lot, but I used some half and half in it, so it just made it richer. And you do have to thicken it. You have to make a little slurry of the water and flour, and I made that and put in. And I did put a couple of dollops of butter in it. My grandmother always said put a little bit of butter, and she put a little bit of butter in almost everything, because, or margarine, not always butter, but margarine. And even at the end when she made her pies, her cream pies, like her coconut, her butter, she had a coconut and chocolate pie, those there, and the banana cream pie she did. She always took and put 2 slices of butter and her vanilla in at the end. And she said, it give it that glossy look, like you want that shine you want to your cream pies. And she either put them with the meringue or the, a lot of times she make fresh whipping cream, sweet whipping cream, and we like that on the chocolate one especially. And then I do have a custard pie I'm going to make, if anybody's interested in that, and a buttermilk pie. I make buttermilk pies for the lady down the street all the time. She loves it. I make her buttermilk pie 2 or 3 times a year, and it's my grandmother's. So those are just a few things. And there's some different kind of cheesecake and dessert bars. There's also, I have some refrigerated pudding desserts to make too, and a pretzel dessert. I've got several things that are lined up. I just have to do them a little bit at a time. So I hope y'all will give this a try. Let me know if you do. Let me know how it turns out or what you thought of it. We're going to be eating dinner here probably about 6:30. So, and I've got everything pretty well done. So just let me know. And like I said, you can always put in the comments section anything that you'd like for me to try or something you're interested in. I'd be more than happy to do that. You also, it said, which I'll do this another time. I will do this when I make the cheese enchiladas. I will make homemade pico de gallo, and I will make some guacamole when I do the cheese enchiladas. So, and I do have also my aunt's recipe for the old-fashioned tacos I'm going to make, where you kind of fry the shell halfway, and then you put, the meat in, and then you finish frying them, and then take them and put, your lettuce and cheese in it when they're done. And your hot sauce is what she always put in them. So anyway, y'all have a good day. Thank you all for being here. And I will see y'all Tuesday when I do the tuna patties, the homemade macaroni and cheese, the cream potatoes, and a fruit salad for you. So I'll have a good weekend and stay safe, everybody. And thank you for being here. Bye-bye.